What's happening, friends? Welcome back to Dynamo DeFi. My name is Patrick, and on this channel I talk about cryptocurrency, decentralized finance, and economics. So if you like those topics, be sure to like and subscribe. Today's video is the start of a new segment on this channel. I seeded a new wallet with $10,000, so I'll be doing a $10,000 portfolio DeFi challenge where my goal will be to build up the passive income on this new wallet as high as I can. And I'm going to do this totally publicly, and then once a week or so, I'll update all of you on the progress that I made on this portfolio. So hopefully we can see it grow together. To start, this is going to be entirely on Cronos, and this is going to be in relatively risky projects. So I cover a lot of solid fundamental long-term projects. For this portfolio, I'm going to be focused, yes, on projects that have good fundamentals, but more heavily on things that will provide passive income. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's get into the video. First, before I jump into why I chose the projects that I did to start, I want to give a couple quick disclaimers. First disclaimer is that this is not my entire portfolio. This is just a small portion of the portfolio. So when I talk about allocating portfolio in my videos where I say you should have some stable coins, you should have solid layer ones that you believe in long-term, and so on and so forth, you could consider this to be a riskier portion of that. So I'm not going to include stable coins. I'm not going to include some of the other types of coins that we normally talk about as things that are a bit safer, because in this, we're looking to build up our passive income. I'm looking to build up my passive income. Second disclaimer is that you should not, and I repeat, you should not copy trade this portfolio. First, there's no guarantee that it does well. I may make a mistake. The market may tank. One of these projects that I'm in may rug, although hopefully that doesn't happen because that would really ruin the challenge. But if that does happen, then I'm putting in money that I'm willing to lose. So you should not copy trade, certainly not with money that you're not willing to lose. And even if it does do well, there's no guarantee that you execute it the same way that I do. Third disclaimer is that I can and will take profits on some of these projects that we're putting this portfolio into. Right now, I'm choosing them because I think that the fundamentals compared to the price make sense, and I'll talk a bit about why in this video for the two that I'm starting with. However, if that price changes, it goes up, or if the fundamentals change and I no longer think that the prospects are as good, then I can take profits, I can sell, I can move to a different project. The point of this is not to bag hold down to zero. And so with that being said, though, let's talk a bit about the portfolio to start. Like I mentioned, to start, it's going to be all on Cronos, although eventually we'll branch out to other chains. And the reason I chose Cronos is if you look at the top chains by TVL, and I've talked a lot on this channel before about why I think Cronos doesn't get enough attention, but we'll sort of go through this piece by piece. So if you look at the top chains by total value locked in their DeFi ecosystems, the market's been in a dip over the past week, and you can see that of the top 10, aside from Ethereum and Avalanche, Cronos has actually been the best performing. Arbitrum's and Ethereum layer 2. So you could consider that as part of Ethereum. Cronos has been one of the best performing, despite the fact that it doesn't get a ton of attention. And if you look at the TVL, it actually hit an all-time high just a few days ago. So on April 8th, it hit an all-time high. And if you look at it, the TVL in terms of the CRO token, it hit an all-time high literally yesterday. So that means that money is still moving into the ecosystem. And there's a lot of projects that are hitting all-time highs day after day. You've got Darkness, you've got Mimus. I'll talk about some of these projects later in this video. Another stat that I like is if you look at the on-chain transactions, Cronos hit an all-time high this past Friday at 480,000 and then has held up around 380,000 since then, which would have been an all-time high just a couple weeks ago. So the transactions are looking very bullish. And I think part of this is just because the Crypto.com app is such a user-friendly app for beginners. And I know some people have issues with it, but I really think that it's a solid app for beginners. And so that's driving a lot of people to Cronos. If you look at the top dexes, for example, so this is the past 24 hours, Uniswap is number 1, PancakeSwap is number 2, Finance, Mad Meerkat, which is the top dex on Cronos, is number 3. Bigger than Curve, bigger than SpookySwap, these other projects that people love to talk about. And I think part of that is, like I said, the app is big, but Crypto.com has really been ramping up their marketing. So, for example, they were just revealed recently as an official sponsor for the World Cup. So I think this is going to bring a lot of attention to their platform. And some of those people, even if it's a relatively small percentage, will find their way to the Cronos chain. They also have a big partnership with UFC, which is my favorite sport to watch personally. And so every time there's a UFC fight, people are being exposed to crypto.com, and they're actually now paying Bitcoin bonuses to fighters. So they're getting a lot of fighters and people who watch fighting as a sport. They're getting them interested in crypto, and I think some of those people will eventually find their way to Cronos. So that is why I chose Cronos to start this portfolio. Hopefully we can move eventually onto other chains as well as this portfolio grows. So to start, like I said, I start with $10,000. I'm splitting it 80% into one pool, 20% into another pool. And so let's start with the 20%. 20% I put into something called Mad Meerkat Optimizer. So Mad Meerkat Finance is that DEX I mentioned before. Mad Meerkat Optimizer is a yield optimizer built on top of Mad Meerkat Finance. And so what I did was I put 20% of the portfolio into their MMO token. And what I like about this is, to start, it has a very nice APR, 190%. But what's cool is that this APR is actually non-dilutive. So the APR comes from fees on the platform, so it's paid out in terms of CRO. And yes, the MMO itself is inflationary because they're paying it out for these other pools. But what's cool is that here, if the price of MMO goes down, in theory, the APR or the rewards should stay similar unless the platform platform activity actually goes down, because we still have that CRO. Again, the rewards are being paid out in terms of CRO, not in terms of MMO itself. So that's the first one. And then for the 80%, what I did was I put it into this Dark CRO pool on Dark Crypto. Dark is it's an algorithmic stablecoin, but instead of being pegged to $1, it's pegged to CRO. And the APR on this is 197.6%. And like I said, this portfolio is for higher risk, high APR plays. I'm not, don't put your life savings into these things. It's just an interesting challenge I thought would be fun to show the channel. But I put 80% into this. And so this is going to be earning me some nice rewards every day. I'll go through the exact numbers in a second. And that's going to pay out in the Sky token, which is the governance token. It's sort of like T-shares is for Tomb, but it's for Dark Crypto. And that's going to be how it started. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those rewards and I'll compound them into other projects that I think are a bit riskier or that have higher APRs, more potential for price appreciation. But the nice thing about the Dark CRO pool is that if Dark can hold its peg, then in theory, there's no impermanent loss here. And so, again, I'll update next week of how this is going and any changes I'm making. Some things that I'm looking at potentially doing with the rewards this week is the Sky CRO LP. Looks good. The Sky token has been performing decently well recently. It's right around its all-time high right now. So if it can break through that all-time high, perhaps it'll go up. The market cap is decently high at 42 million, but still potentially has some room to grow. And the rewards are nice at 445% APR. Who doesn't like 1.5% a day? I know I do. Another thing I'm considering is the NES token. So NES is the token of Dark Crypto's US dollar stablecoin, the sort of governance token, and also their stablecoin exchange, Darkness. So same project, same team, but different portion of the project. And if you stake NES, you get 463% APR, and that's paid out in the Dark CRO LP. So you could maybe get some nice sort of nice cyclical things there, where you put the rewards from the Dark CRO LP into NES, then you put the rewards from this back into that LP. This one I'm inclined to skip because you have to lock it up for 4 epochs, and each epoch is 7 days, and locking up a token like this for a month is just I've gotten burnt before on locking up some of these small projects for a month. The market cap is 6 million, fully diluted value is 300 million, so there's definitely going to be some serious inflation. But that is something that I'll be considering, although I'm leaning towards Sky right now. And there's also just a lot of other cool things in the Cronos ecosystem. One thing that this is a good time to talk about is because we're going to be sort of building this portfolio as a community, or I'll be sharing it with the community, I thought this would be a good time. I've been getting a lot of requests for this, to create a group to discuss some smaller DeFi plays. And so I made a Telegram group finally t.me/Dynamo DeFi. I'll include a link down below. We'll be talking about all sorts of DeFi, crypto investing, passive income type plays in there, things that are too small to talk about on the channel. So if you want to discuss it, you can join the group down below. And yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I also am making this wallet public. Like I said, the value unfortunately has already dropped just a smidge since I set up the portfolio, but I have it on dbank.com, and then I'll include this link down below, and you can see all the moves on here. So this will be fully transparent. And the way I have it set up right now, the daily rewards are going to be, again, this has fluctuated a bit since I calculated a few minutes ago, but they're going to be around $50 a day, roughly. So for every week, it's going to be around $350, $360 as it currently stands. And we'll compound that into new projects, grow it over time. And I think the first cool goal that I'll set for this is, wouldn't it be great to get to $185 a day? And the reason I set that is that the median income of the United States, where I live, median household income is $67,500. And that comes out to around $185 a day. So wouldn't it be cool if we could take this $10,000 pile of cash and turn it into the median income? And then target, once we hit that, will be $285, which comes out to $100,000 a year. And the goal is to hit this over a sustained period of time, not just for a single day, because I could put this into any sort of number of pools right now and hit it for a single day. But if it then goes down to zero after that, then I'm not really accomplishing anything, and I'm just losing money for no reason. And so that is the challenge, $10,000 portfolio challenge. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments. Yeah, I'm probably going to regret this, but if you have any passive income plays that you think would be cool to try, drop it in the YouTube comments, or even better on Telegram, because YouTube loves to censor comments like that. And it's also very difficult for me to respond to all the YouTube comments. But in Telegram, we can have a back and forth discussion. And I think we can do some cool stuff together. Let's get into it. Awesome. That's all for today. Until next time, this is Dynamo DeFi.